announcements to make, and you know, I rarely make these announcements, but this is actually quite important, so let me just get to them first, and then we'll go into your reading, okay? First of all, um, I apologize for not getting your reading out last week. From now on, moving forward, I think I will realistically only have time to do the monthly readings, so I'm just going to do the monthly readings, okay? And then the second thing is, for those of you who have emailed me and inquired about personal readings, I am no longer doing personal readings. I don't have the time. And so I do have a colleague. Her name is Bridget. And if you'd like to book a reading, I would say I highly recommend her. And I've provided a link for her scheduling website in the description box below. So if you could, you know, kindly transition over and, you know, book appointments with her, I highly recommend her. She has been a great source of insight and inspiration for me. So I highly recommend it, okay? So just get a reading with her and see how things go. So when I was shuffling out this spread for you guys, I saw an image. It's kind of like a silhouette. It's a night sky, and there's a house surrounded by trees, and the moon is in the background, so the house shows up as a silhouette. And then everything in that house is dark, and then all of a sudden the attic light comes on. And it just, there's this overpowering, you know, light emanating from the attic. It's a very haunting type of a feeling that I'm getting, but I'm also seeing as well that it's a light that illuminates the darkness. Okay, so that's what I saw. And what I feel, how that image applies to this reading is there's definitely some type of a major realization, major awakening, that light bulb moment that has entered your life or will be entering the rest of this month. For some of you, this is like an idea when it comes to income generating opportunities, okay? Something that's really profound, something that's very, very big. And I feel like it's an idea that you can take and run with it. And it's going to be very transformative when it comes to your financial sector. Okay, so it's an idea, it's lucrative, it's floating around out there. And I feel like it's coming into the fold to show you, here's how it can be done. You know, so if you've been thinking about something, I feel like this is a really good time for you to launch something. It's a good time for you to grab this opportunity and run with it. And then I'm also seeing in the financial sector, for some of you guys, you're at this point, King of Pentacles, very financially stable, and you're trying to figure out, you know, what's next. Like you might be at the top of that career ladder, and you're just like, well, I don't really have anywhere else to climb. So what's the next stage for me? What's the next step? How am I going to, you know, what do I need to transition into, or where should I look so that I can continue to increase my skills, continue to increase my income generating potential, which is a really, really good place for you to be. Be very careful about speculative ventures, okay? This is like high risk, high rewards. Be very, very, very careful about that. So yes, there is an idea floating around out there for you to generate income, but if it's like gambling, if it's something that involves a lot of risk, I would urge you to be careful, mainly because we're coming down here from the King of Pentacles to the Five of Pentacles, which is financial loss. So look at situations very realistically and make sure that this project, this idea, this whatever it is that's coming into the picture, that it passes, you know, the common sense test. And especially if it's really high risk, I would advise you to sit still and mull it over, okay? I'm also feeling as well, some of you are really trying to stabilize your financial future, and this is a different segment of you guys, and you feel like you're just starting out. You feel like, okay, I'm kind of like, you know, this newborn. I have a long way to go before I can get myself financially where I need to be. And it can feel a little bit disheartening when you have so much potential and you see yourself, you know, like with a lot of potential, with a lot of growth potential, especially. But it can seem as if it's going to take some time to learn all the skills, to climb that ladder, to be where you need to be. I don't see any obstacles standing in your way. I feel like there's a lot of information that you have to learn. There are a lot of things that you have to know how to do in terms of like protocols, procedures, accumulating knowledge in order to do your job, in order to. I see a lot of people who might actually be students. So, for example, if you're on course to get your bachelor's, you might be like, okay, once I get this degree, once I graduate, the whole world of opportunities will be available for me. So you're getting kind of antsy and you're getting kind of anxious. Like, I just want to get through school. School is just school. And afterwards, that's when my life is going to start. Okay, some of you could even be getting a master's, could be like getting frustrated and impatient about, even doing like a PhD coursework. And you're just like, as long as I graduate, then everything, the doors will all be open for me. So think of this not as a means to an end. Okay, getting the degree is just a means to get a job. Think of this as your soul's evolution, okay? All the things that you need to learn as this newborn baby in order to, I feel like it's not just the degree or the diploma to get a good job. It's something that you have to do for your internal growth process. So be patient with it and just know that in life, whatever we put in is what we're going to get out. So if we need to give it 100%, do all the course reading, do all the assignments, do all the tests, the midterms, the exams, the board exams even. It's knowledge is, the accumulation of knowledge is an ongoing cumulative process. So we can't really cut corners and we can't really just wish for that end date. Okay, so enjoy the process, live in that moment, ground yourself, and really find purpose in the day-to-day of what you're doing so that you're not getting frustrated, so that you're not getting anxious and impatient with this process. So I feel like there's something that's going to take a while to accomplish. It could be a project, it could be school for some of you, it could be, getting the foundations ready for some huge income generating opportunity, and you're in the midst of having to deal with it. I feel like you're a little bit impatient, but rest assured, things are going to be okay. I feel almost like the universe is teaching you delay gratification. It's teaching you discipline, a lot of discipline. It's teaching you to accumulate knowledge. And it's keeping you kind of still so that you can clearly lay a strong foundation for you guys so that whatever you decide to undertake later on, when this waiting period is over, then you will know that it's going to have a really good outcome. Okay, so be patient with it. There is some brazen, bold communication that's coming through between you and another person. Okay, and this is what I call like the bare naked truth. Okay, Page of Swords. Okay, somebody might be expressing how they feel to you, and they could be expressing how they feel about something that you're doing. They could be expressing how they feel about you. And I feel like the message, the way it's delivered, it could be in a way it's like catching you off guard. It's something very unexpected, and it's something that is like, wow, what do I do with this information? And then for others, I feel like you have somebody that is expressing their romantic feelings for you, and it's it's not like the Page of Cups where it's very sweet and flirtatious and jolly, and I feel like you're dealing with somebody that is normally not very emotionally expressive. They might have a deadpan face. They might have like they're just not really comfortable with that realm of emotions. Okay, and you have two characters here. One could be an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. The other one could be an air sign. So I have the King of Pentacles, and then I have this is the King of Swords. Okay, both of these people, not overly emotional, but I feel like the communication that's coming through between the two of you is I feel almost like if they're expressing their emotions towards you, it caught you off guard. It's something very unexpected. Okay, and then I also feel like there's news about pregnancies, birth, and things like that as well, where it's like catching you unawares. Okay, so for those of you who are expecting, congratulations. For those of you who are um, not expecting, take necessary precautions, because this pregnancy vibe is coming through mainly because we have some unexpected communication. We have the birth of something. Okay, I feel like for some of you there is I feel like there could be some type of accusation from a relationship partner. Okay, are you seeing somebody else? Are you still in love with me? Am I making you happy? Are you, like they're wondering if you're still attracted to them. They're wondering if you're still in love with them. They're wondering if they do it for you. And they're wondering if you've been honest and straightforward and loyal to them. So I do feel issues, communications regarding loyalty. And I also feel like as well, loyalty in the workplace. Like I see somebody getting called into like a supervisor or a manager's office, and somebody telling you, hey, we've got, a position that's going to be opening up in possibly the end of the year, and we like the work that you're doing, but we're wondering, do you enjoy working here? Do you think you'll be around at that time? Do you think you'll be loyal to us? Because we want to recommend you for this position. But if you don't feel like you want to be here, then, let us know so that we can give the position to somebody else. I don't feel like the communication is sneaky or conniving, or I don't feel like they have hidden agendas or hidden motives. I feel like they hold you in high regards and they want to give you the full honest truth. They want to be able to disclose to you fully where they're at, how they feel about you, and what their plans are. So if your plans kind of coincide with theirs, that's great. If your plans, on the other hand, do not coincide, they want to know so that they can, look elsewhere. So it seems to me like it could be at work or it could be with a relationship partner. Are you still 100% on board with me, Cancers? If you are, then great, we'll move forward. Forward movement, momentum here. But there's also that little bit of self-doubt. One horse is looking at the other, and it's like, are we in this together? Because it's going to get rough. So are we still in this together? If you want to bail out, you need to tell me now. And honestly, Cancers, I feel in general that it's hard for people to gauge where they're at with you. You guys are really personable. You have great, sparkly, shiny personalities. And you guys are very, very well liked. People that meet you, even for the very first time, they're always going to say, wow, that was a really cool person, male or female. You have this way about you where it's very disarming. You put people at ease. You sincerely care about people. And you always, whenever people talk to you, they feel like um, they feel like they're the center of your world. And I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this. I've interacted with a lot of Cancers. And so let's just say I talk to them and they're just like, how was your day? And, I feel like I can say anything without judgment. I feel like, the other person, when they ask me that, they're really, really, really sincerely interested in, how was your day? It's not just casual conversation, because people do that. And they ask you, and then they're disinterested as soon as you open your mouth. But I feel like with you guys, there is a very strong sense of sincerity when you interact with people, when you talk to people, when you ask people, even with just mundane water cooler chit chat, you're still very much engaged and very interested in what they have to say. And I feel like you do this with a lot of people. And that is why I mentioned before, a lot of people can get the wrong ideas and think that you're flirting with them. And then a lot of people, your partner, when they're with you, they feel like they're the center of your world because, of course, you love them. But when you're engaging or talking to somebody else, they just feel very sidelined, okay? So make sure that you kind of keep that attention, that focus on the relationship partner. Reassure your relationship partner so that they don't feel insecure, or they don't feel like they're put on the back burner, or they don't feel sidelined in conversations. Okay, be inclusive to the point where it's group inclusion. So I hope that makes sense. I feel like there's some insecurities coming through, especially from relationship partners. What I have as well is I also feel like some of you are in a position where you're being offered, like you're in one job and you're being offered another job. Okay, you're in one relationship and you're being solicited for another relationship. And I feel like there's a little bit of a sensory overload from your end about like, oh, what do I do? So many choices, so many options. There's also this paralysis. It's like I can't really act on anything right now. I don't know what to do. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to convey the wrong things. I don't want to make a decision because I need some time to mull it over. So there's an element here about you being quite conflicted and kind of pulled in different directions about, what's the right choice for me. So if you are being poached, for example, if you're in one company working for somebody that you really care for and you admire and you feel like there's growth potential here, and you're being pulled by another company, recruited by another company, or offered another job, I feel like I feel, well, let me see, I feel like it's catching you unawares. And I feel like the new job, yeah, I feel like the new job, they really want you, okay? I call this bending over backwards to accommodate another person. They really, really, really want you. They really want you. And, the best work environment is the work environment that really sees your full potential, that really appreciates you, and that really wants you. Okay? So I feel like you have some choices to make. And then I also feel like if you're in one relationship, there might be somebody telling you like, hey, I really like you. When if you ever find yourself single, then, reach out to me. And in that situation, I see you kind of recoiling like, I don't know what to do with that information. And I feel like you can trust people and take what they say at face value. Okay, this is options opening up. You can take what they say at face value. If they're telling you if you ever find yourself single, then contact me. They don't expect a response from you. I mean, unless you're single, right? But if you're in a relationship already and you're happy, then just leave that alone. Okay, don't work yourself into a frenzy. Okay. So I definitely see some temptation with work, with relationships as well, coming through. Testing your loyalties, I feel. Testing your loyalty. So, stand firm in whatever it is that you hold dear, whatever it is that you love, whatever it is that you value. Don't waver. Don't think about what if, because, a lot of the times when new opportunities open up, we forget or we take for granted what we already have. So this is telling you, if it's a job or something, I feel like they really like you. They really like you. But if you're happy where you're at, then, work from that standpoint. Make the decision from that standpoint. Okay, don't think of it as missed opportunities, or if I don't do this, I'll never get that opportunity again. They want you, so they will continue to wait. Okay, so let's brush that aside. So that's the first 6 cards here. The last 4 cards. First of all, what I'm feeling here is I do see relationships, and where one person is doing a lot of the shouldering of the responsibilities, okay? Housework, child rearing, being the only person to bring home the money. And you might be in a situation where you feel almost as if there's some imbalance regarding, you know, who's doing what in the relationship, okay? Who is putting 100% in the relationship, and then who's not doing their fair share. I also feel like there might have been some types of talks, communication, compromise about, you know, okay, I drop the kids off at school, and then you have to help me pick them up, okay? Or, you know, I cook on weekdays, you have to chip in and help me cook on the weekends. And I also feel in some way there's an energy here about people pooling their resources together. It could be at work, it could be a relationship partner, and then one person is sort of like reckless when it comes to spending things, spending money very frivolously. So I do see like issues when it comes to money, when it comes to finances, when it comes to the give and take, when it comes to, hey, we agreed on this. Why are you breaking the terms of the contract? Those discussions, I feel like, are coming to a head or are being discussed. What I feel is I feel like so keep in mind, I feel like everybody that's around you, their communication style is very straightforward, okay? Don't read between the lines. There's nothing to read between the lines. What they say is what they mean, okay? So for example, okay, if your supervisor tells you, so for example, let's say your supervisor tells you, I need that report done by Friday. If you're not able to get it done by Friday, you have to let me know. And then your supervisor goes off to his or her room, and you're sitting there like, are they saying that because they don't trust that I'm going to be able to get it done? Are they you know, thinking less of me? Don't do that. Don't do that, okay? Don't imagine things that are not said, that are not real, that are not true, okay? And the reason why I bring that up is there might be situations where there's defensiveness when it comes to communication, misunderstandings as well. Possibly, you know, like getting frustrated or angry, or somebody getting frustrated and angry on a job, and they just drop the whole burden. It's almost like, oh, so I'm sensing that energy, and what you see is what you get. Okay, what you see is what you get. The people that you're dealing with, they're straightforward, honest, you know, truthful people. And I feel like, you know, situations might happen where somebody makes a comment that's like not even explicit, and you might read too much into it. Okay, so just be careful, be mindful of that energy. So relationships do look really good. I feel like there's a compromise, there's a coming together, and especially there's communication. There's communication. There's going to be some, you know, good, solid revelation about how somebody feels about you, what they want from you, what they expect from you, and as well what they have planned for the two of you. And I feel that's also in the work sector. All right.